Today we'll look at 5 tips for using Midjourney for graphic design. And no, this isn't just about telling AI to make your entire design for you. These are ways you can use Midjourney to build upon ideas you already have. Let's look at the first tip, generating assets. You probably know what it's like to endlessly scroll stock photo libraries, desperately trying to find what you want. Why not use Midjourney to get exactly what you want instead? Now, one shortcoming of Midjourney is that it doesn't currently support transparent backgrounds. But we can easily get a close result by specifying white background and then removing the background later. It's pretty hot right now in the summer, so let's generate some ice cream cones. I'll specify vibrant pastel color, vector illustration, and then most important at the end, I'll say white background. So I'll hit the arrow here, submit, and it will process. And by the way, I'm on Midjourney version 7 right now. And here we have our results. I can click on one I like. I'll copy the image. And I can paste it into a graphics program, such as Affinity Photo. I can easily select it. And then I can mask it out. I'll click the mask button. And now we have our transparent image. You can do this in Photoshop, GIMP, or whatever program you like to use. Let me show you how you can generate multiple assets for the price of one. And that's to simply add a term like asset sheet to your prompt. You can also try adding a plural message to your ice cream cones here. Let's say ice cream cones, comma. The aspect ratio of your image will also influence the result. Since I want many things, let's give a wider aspect ratio. I'll click the settings here. Let's do landscape. Let's drag it up a little. Maybe 3x2. And now I'll submit. And now I got even more results. And once again, I can go and I can clip out each of these individually. Another way to generate multiple assets is to just keep specifying them in the prompt. So here I want to create 2D icons. I specified some other details here. Let's submit and see what we get. And here I got some pretty nice icons. Some of them aren't perfect, but I could easily modify them to suit my needs. Let's look at the next tip now, generating backgrounds and patterns. Sometimes it can be hard to find that perfect background for your slide or presentation. Let's look at some examples here. I'll specify some colorful purple smoke, abstract swirls, black background, photorealistic. Let's submit it. And we get some pretty cool results here. So I could easily take something like this and copy it and use it. Let's copy this image. This is Affinity Designer, so I'll say new from clipboard. Maybe I want the black to be on the left side, so I'll flip it here. And I want to have more space over here for my words. So I'll just expand my canvas. And because this area is black, I can easily add a black background. Let's just do a rectangle. I'll color pick from this here. And I could add some text here for my slide. And here we have our result. And you can continue modifying it from here. We could also generate something more specific. Here I have a futuristic background, and I've specified that it's tech-inspired patterns, circuit boards, digital motifs. Let's submit this and see what happens. So again, pretty nice results here that we could continue to modify. We can also create lighting effects. So I have this image here of a concert. Maybe we want to create some blue lights going across the stage. I'll go back to Midjourney and I'll say blue lasers radiating outwards. I'll just specify various angles, sense of depth, and I'm going to say black background. And you'll see why in a second. So let me submit this. And here we have some cool laser effects. I like this one the most. Let me right click on it. I'll say copy image. Now in my program, I'll paste it here. And what I'm going to do is set the blend mode to screen. And what screen does well is remove dark backgrounds. So with this layer selected, I'll choose my blend modes. I'll say screen. And now you can see the effect it's having. The lights look like they're actually in the image. Now we have something of a ghosting effect here. This is because the background wasn't totally black. This is pretty easy to fix by using your program's levels tool. This is in Photoshop, Affinity Photo, GIMP. I'll select this layer here. I'll choose the adjustments and I'll choose levels. Now if I dial up the black, you'll see that ghosting part starts to go away. We get a much crisper effect. I'll close this. So we can resize our laser here. Let's put it up here. If the edges look a little too sharp, you can mask it out. So I'll add a mask to this. Let's just soften that effect there at the edge. We could also duplicate this. I'll press Ctrl J. Let's move it somewhere else. Let's rotate it. Maybe tilt it a little bit. And you can change it as you see fit. We could also add a levels adjustment to the whole image. So I'll add levels. This will affect everything. Just get a little more contrast going. And here we have our final result. Before, after. Before, after. And most of it just comes down to using an image like this with a dark background and setting it to the screen blend mode. And finally, for backgrounds, don't forget that we can use the tile option here. This will create a seamless pattern. So I have this one of tropical flowers and leaves, animals and birds. Let's submit it and see what happens. So we have a bunch of designs here. Let me take this one. I'll save it to my computer. Let's call it seamless. And I'll demonstrate it here in Affinity Photo. I'll just create a rectangle. This will vary by what program you use, but I want to show you that it's seamless. And there we have the seamless pattern. You can see that it repeats well and it's a great image. And we did that by specifying -- tile. The third tip is to regularly use the Explore tab. On the Midjourney website, you can access it via clicking Explore here, and we have different options here: random, hot, top for the day, week, month. Scrolling through here is a great way to see what people are using Midjourney for these days. There's tons of different options here, many different style ideas. Furthermore, you can treat it like a stock photo library. I'll search for ice cream cones. Let's say watercolor. And let's see what we get. You can see we have tons of examples here. Now, other people will be able to use these images too. What I recommend doing is generating a new image based on the image you see. So what you can do is click onto something you like. So I'll select this one here. Then you can click on the prompt. It'll place it up here. And then down here you can click on the other properties as well. Aspect ratio, version. And this is the profile of the person that created it. This will influence the style of the image. So if you really like this style, click profile as well. And then submit. Let's see what we got for my results. So we got dozens of cool options. And that's by going to the Explore tab and searching for what we're interested in. The next tip is that you can use Midjourney for in-painting and out-painting a photo. This means you can extend the bounds of an image or change something within your image. To do that, go to the Edit tab here. Click Edit Uploaded Image. Find an image you like on your computer, then click Open. And then what I can do is drag on these handles here to expand the image. Maybe I want more top part here. Maybe more on the left. We also have brushes to erase part of our image. So if I want, I can recreate this area here. Let's paint that out. Maybe I just want this part here. And then I want to regenerate the area around it. Now when we click Submit Edit, you'll need to enter a prompt here. But you can also ask Midjourney to generate a prompt. If you click this star here, it says Suggest Prompt. So I'll click this. It takes a few seconds. But it looks at your image and it tries to determine what it is. And here we have the description. Now I'll click Submit Edit. And I have 4 different results to choose from. So I can click through and see which one I like. When you see one you like, you can click Upscale to Gallery, and then it'll appear in your Create tab over here. Now, one tip I want to say with this is when not to use it. If you already have a graphic design tool that lets you in-paint or out-paint for free, I recommend using that instead. Photoshop has that ability, and also Affinity Photo to some degree. The thing to be aware about when you do this in Midjourney is that it takes away from your image credits. Your available processing hours will go down by doing this, just like it does for a normal image generation. So I do use this tool quite a bit actually. But just keep in mind that that's the downside of it. And if one of your other tools can do the same thing for free, I recommend using that. And now for the final tip. Whenever you generate an image in Midjourney, consider modifying the vibrance and contrast in another program. Sometimes Midjourney images can look a little muted and low contrast by default. This actually isn't a bad thing because it gives you more of a choice on how you want to pull apart the values in your image. But it's just something to be aware of. Here's an image I created recently of a knight. I want to use it for a YouTube thumbnail, but I think it needs a little bit more punch to it. I'll copy the image. I'll paste it into a program like Affinity Photo, but you could do the same thing in GIMP or Photoshop. And I think for something like this, I'd adjust the levels and vibrance. So I'll add a levels adjustment. Let's boost up the blacks a little bit more. Maybe the whites too. Let's add a vibrance adjustment. I'll increase that. Maybe even a little saturation. Again, this is for a YouTube thumbnail, so we want it to stand out. So let's look at before and after so far. Before, after. Before, after. Still pretty subtle. Let's add dodge and burn layers. So I'll add a pixel layer. I'll call it dodge. And I'll set the blend mode to color dodge. And this will brighten up parts of our image. I really want the eyes and the sword to be brighter. So I'll select my paintbrush here. I'll select a very dark color. That will actually brighten it up a little bit. And let's brighten up this area here. So again, I'm on the dodge layer, blend mode set to color dodge. I'm painting with something slightly off of black here. And that will brighten it up. If I go too bright, this kind of thing happens, which we don't want. But let's just keep making it slightly brighter here. The closer we get to the center, the brighter it will be for his eye. Let's use one more here. So let's see how this looks. Before, after. Before, after. Let's do the same thing with the sword. I just want that edge to be a little brighter. It can give it kind of a glow effect overall. Make those colors jump out a little. And let's do some of the reflections as well. Make those red highlights stand out. Let's now add a burn layer to make some of the darks darker. I'll add another pixel layer. Let's call it burn. If you don't remember the difference between dodge and burn, I just remember that burn makes things darker. That's what happens when you burn something. And then dodge is the other one. Now for burn, we want to go slightly off of white. If we do too dark, we get something like this. So we don't want that. So let's go to white and just pull it in a little bit. And even that's just like very strong. Sometimes you have to modify the opacity for the layer there. Maybe I'll do that. Just enhance some of these shadows. Get some of the arm there. And we can even give like a vignette effect. Darken the corner a little. Now something I also want to do is extend this image to the right. And I'm going to have text over here, so it doesn't need to be super accurate. We could use Midjourney itself, but I think this is a good situation to just use our own methods. That way we don't burn our Midjourney credits. I'll extend my canvas. And I'll take my image. Let's just Control J, duplicate it. I'll drag it over. I'll flip it around. Maybe something like that would look pretty good. And Affinity Photo does have an in-painting tool, so let's add a pixel layer for that. I'll select the in-painting tool. Let's brush this out. Smooth this here. And our image is really only going to be this big here, so we'll keep that there. And let's see if we can get rid of the sword here. And let's get rid of the knight on the right side. I think our image isn't going to be that wide anyway, so let's bring it in about here. So let's look at before and after. Before, after. Before, after. And this is how that final image was integrated into the thumbnail. Do you use Midjourney for graphic design? And has it improved your workflow in any way? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.